Have you ever hugged a woman and felt her pull away just a little too soon? Have you ever hugged a woman and felt her pull away just a little too soon? You held on maybe half a second longer than she did. She smiled, but it was polite. Not warm, not the kind of smile that stays in her eyes. And as she stepped back, something in your chest quietly collapsed. You replayed it on the drive home. You replayed it before you fell asleep. You told yourself you were overthinking it. But you weren't. You felt exactly what happened. And it's been eating at you ever since. I'm here, and this is the Gentle Mind, where we uncover the real psychology that creates desire. And today I want to talk about something almost nobody talks about, honestly. How to receive a hug from a woman in a way that makes her feel something she can't quite name. Something that stays with her. Something that makes her think about you long after you've walked away. And I'll warn you now, the final trigger I'm going to share with you is incredibly powerful. It can change everything fast, and almost no one uses it correctly. But first, let's be honest about what's really been happening. You've been trying. You really have. You've been kind, attentive, available. You've shown up, and yet somehow the more you give, the less she seems to want it. You hug her, and it feels transactional. She accepts it the way she accepts a handshake. Warm enough, but empty. You walk away feeling invisible, and you start wondering if there's something wrong with you, if you're just not enough. Stop right there. This was never your fault. Nobody taught you this. Not your father, not your friends, not the movies that showed you flowers and speeches and grand gestures leading to love. None of them told you about the invisible language that actually moves a woman's emotions. The language underneath the words, underneath the actions. The language her nervous system reads before her conscious mind even registers you're in the room. You didn't fail. You just had the wrong map. Here's what's actually going on beneath the surface. Women, like all humans, are wired by millions of years of evolutionary psychology. Their nervous systems are constantly scanning, not consciously, subconsciously. And they're scanning for one primary signal. Not height, not money, not looks. They're scanning for emotional safety combined with a particular kind of strength. A man who is grounded, present, unbothered. A man who doesn't need her validation to feel complete. That signal, that specific combination, triggers something ancient in her brain, something she didn't choose and can't explain. It creates what researchers call involuntary attraction, the kind she doesn't decide to feel, the kind that just happens. And here's the thing about a hug. A hug is one of the densest moments of signal transmission in any interaction. In those 3 to 5 seconds, her nervous system receives more data about you than in 20 minutes of conversation. Your body tension, your breathing, whether you're present or anxious, whether you're holding on because you want to or because you're afraid she'll leave. She doesn't analyze it. She just feels it. And that feeling either opens something in her or it quietly closes. So let's talk about the real tools, not tricks. Real psychological levers that change the way she experiences you. Use these with intention. Use them with respect. Because they work. The first is masculine presence. This is not about how you look. It's not about standing a certain way or lowering your voice. Masculine presence is grounded energy. It's the feeling she gets when she's near you that you're fully here, not distracted by your phone, not rehearsing what to say next, not monitoring her face for signs of approval, just here, calm, rooted. When she walks toward you for a hug, most men tense up slightly. They lean in too fast. They hold a half breath. She feels that. Her nervous system reads it as low value, high anxiety. A man seeking rather than giving. Try this instead. Before she reaches you, take one slow exhale. Let your shoulders drop. When she comes into your arms, you are the stable thing. You are the tree, not the leaf. Hold for a moment that feels natural to you, not extended out of fear, not cut short out of awkwardness. Just present. Presence is silent and it is magnetic. The second trigger is emotional challenge. Women are not drawn to men who agree with everything. Agreement without edge creates comfort, not desire. Desire requires polarity. It requires the feeling that you are your own person with your own world, and she is welcome in it, but she hasn't fully won you yet. This doesn't mean be cold or withhold affection. It means be playful. Tease her lightly about something specific to her. After the hug, as you pull back, glance at her with a half smile and say something like, "You always smell like you're trying to distract me." Or, "I wasn't going to let you hug me today, but fine." It's nothing. It's small. But it creates a tiny spike of uncertainty. A question in her mind. Does he like me? Or is he just playing? That question is not anxiety. It's interest. It's the thing that makes her think about you at 2 a.m. Emotional challenge is the gap between comfort and certainty. Never eliminate that gap entirely. The third trigger is selective attention. This one is counterintuitive. Most men believe that giving a woman more attention makes her more attracted. It doesn't. Constant availability signals that your time has no value. And things without scarcity don't hold desire. Have a full life. Have things you're working on, things you care about, directions you're moving in. Not as a performance. For real. Because when she's around a man who doesn't rearrange his entire world for her approval, she becomes aware that his attention is not guaranteed. And the moment she becomes aware of that, she starts working to earn it. After a hug, don't linger waiting to see if she wants more. Move. Return to your conversation. Return to your friends. Let her feel the gap where your attention just was. That gap is incredibly powerful. She'll fill it with thoughts of you. Selective attention is not coldness, it's confidence in your own worth. If this is making sense so far, hit subscribe and join the Gentle Mind community. It helps more men learn what they were never taught. Now, let's keep going because the next 4 are where it gets really deep. The fourth trigger is intentional listening. Most men listen to respond. Women feel this. They know when you're waiting for your turn to talk. Real listening is something different. It's tracking the small things she says and bringing them back later. It's remembering that she mentioned her sister was going through something hard, and 2 days later asking how her sister is. It's noticing when she says, "I'm fine," but her voice went flat, and gently saying, "You don't sound fine. What happened?" This is emotional seeing, and it is one of the rarest things a woman will ever experience from a man. Most men see her surface, her hair, her smile, her body. She knows what they see. But the man who sees her interior world, who tracks her like she matters at a level deeper than her appearance, that man becomes unforgettable. After the hug, use that closeness to say something that proves you were listening last time. How did that thing go with your friend? Watch what happens to her expression. She wasn't expecting it. She wasn't expecting you to remember. She'll try to stay neutral, but something will soften in her eyes. You'll see it. Remember small things. They're not small to her. The fifth trigger is calibrated vulnerability. This is where most men get it completely wrong in one of 2 directions. Either they share nothing, keeping everything locked behind a wall of strength, which makes her feel shut out, or they share too much too soon, processing their emotional history all over her before trust is built. which makes her feel like a therapist, not a romantic interest. Calibrated vulnerability is the middle path. It means sharing real things, true things, things that required some courage to say, but without collapsing into them. It means saying, there are moments I wonder if I'm on the right path, without turning it into a monologue about your childhood. It means naming a feeling without drowning in it. When you do this, something rare happens. She stops seeing you as a performance. She starts seeing you as a real man. And real men who have depth but aren't broken, who are open but not desperate, those men are extraordinarily rare. She's met 100 men who were either walls or open wounds. Be neither. Be honest. Be brief. Be steady while you say it. The sixth trigger is gradual physical touch. The hug itself is only one moment, but how you arrive at that hug and what touch looks like in the moments around it matters just as much. Touch is the language of oxytocin. When done right, it builds a chemical bond. When done wrong, it creates discomfort and distance. The key word is gradual. Start small. A light hand on her upper arm when you're making a point. A brief touch on the back when you're walking through a door together. These small touches are not sexual. They're connective. They build familiarity. They lower her guard slowly, naturally, respectfully. By the time you go in for the hug, it doesn't feel like a sudden move. It feels like the natural next moment in an already warm physical language between you two. She leans in because her body has already been slowly invited, not grabbed. And when the hug happens, let your hands rest still. No restless movement. No patting her like she's done a good job. Still, grounded, present. Give her the message. I'm not nervous. I'm not rushing. I'm right here. Light, respectful, intentional touch builds a bridge her body trusts before her mind has decided anything. And now, the seventh trigger. The one I warned you about. The one almost no one gets right. Controlled unpredictability. Human beings are wired to crave certainty and be fascinated by mystery. The brain releases dopamine not when it receives a reward, but when it anticipates one uncertainly. This is why slot machines are addictive. Not because you always win, but because you might. A man who is completely predictable becomes furniture. You know what furniture feels like. It's comfortable, it's reliable, but you don't think about it. You don't lie awake wondering about your couch. Controlled unpredictability means breaking your own patterns on purpose, not randomly, not coldly, but intentionally. You've been texting her every night? Don't text her one night. No explanation, just silence. Not cruelty, just space. You've been the one initiating every hug? Wait, let her initiate. See if she does. Let her feel the slight shift in the air. After a warm hug, instead of staying and filling every second with conversation, pull back, give her a quiet look, something genuine, and then say, I'll see you soon, and walk away while the moment still feels good. Don't squeeze the last drop out of every interaction. Leave when things are warm. Leave her wanting the rest of the sentence. Her brain will fill that gap. It will replay the hug. It will replay your calm. It will replay the slight mystery of you. And every replay deepens the imprint. Unpredictability is not games. It's the architecture of fascination. Now I want to step back and tell you something important. Every trigger I just gave you is real. Grounded in evolutionary psychology, in neuroscience, in the deep patterns of human connection. None of this is manipulation. Manipulation is using these tools to take from someone without caring about them. What I'm describing is something different. It's showing up as your best self, your most grounded, most present, most intentional self, the version of you that women were always hoping would walk in. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be strategic. You just have to understand the invisible language your energy speaks and choose to speak it well. The man who understands masculine presence doesn't need to perform confidence. He has it because he stopped leaking it through nervous energy and neediness. The man who understands emotional challenge keeps her slightly curious because he has his own world and she's genuinely fascinated by it. The man who practices selective attention creates value through scarcity because his time and focus means something. The man who listens intentionally makes a woman feel truly seen, maybe for the first time. The man who practices calibrated vulnerability shows depth without damage, which is disarming in the best way. The man who understands touch builds physical trust before he ever asks for closeness. And the man who masters controlled unpredictability becomes the thing she thinks about when she doesn't mean to. That man is not distant. He is not cold. He is not playing games. He is simply fully himself, certain of his value, generous without being desperate, present without being consumed. That man doesn't chase. He moves with purpose. And women are drawn toward purpose the way plants turn toward light. You've been trying to fix yourself. You've been wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You just had an incomplete picture. Now the picture is fuller. Now you know where the signals were going wrong. Now you know what a hug can actually communicate and how to make it say something that lingers. Walk into the next moment differently, not with performance, with understanding, and watch what changes. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women genuinely desire, subscribe to The Gentle Mind now. Turn on notifications because the next one will shift your reality again.